Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to master a song. This is a very simple mastering tutorial. Anyone can do it and it'll really bring your tracks to life and make them more prominent. This is a track by an artist named PT2 Hustle, so I'm going to play it for you.
You're now listening to Young Beat.
5.56 and them 7.62s. You shoot at me, I'll shoot at you. I'm shooting flames, this shit voodoo. We hit brains, he had no clue.
Alrighty, so I mixed this a long time ago and I lost FOP, so I can't go and fix anything in the mix, but we're still going to make it work, okay? Alrighty, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an analyzer. I use the PAZ analyzer on the master chain. So with this, you can really see what the fundamental frequency is. You can also see if there's anti-phase, panning, all this stuff. So this is a really good analyzer. So right here I changed it to peak, which is what we're going to be analyzing first. Alright, so the first thing I added was the IM pusher. What you want to do is you want to play a track and make sure nothing's going above 0 dB. So I'm going to put this back to 0 and let's play a track.
You're now listening to Young Beat.
Alright, so as you can see, there is some going above 0, but I can't go back to the mixing stage because I lost the FOP for it. Alright, so make sure your input's set at 0, 0. Then, once you have that loaded up, just leave that for now. I want you to go to your beat, whatever track your beat is on, route it to a track. The first thing to add is an EQP1A. Now, this is a very good EQ. I really vouch for this one. It adds a great tone to it. So in this track, I wanted that low end to really hit. I felt like when you're in the car and you're playing it, it would have a nice little low end to it that you could bump out to. So I put the CPS at 30 and I boosted around 3. So I wouldn't go above 4 or 5. It does depend on your track, but too much low end is bad. So I just put this on 3 and it gives a really nice effect. After that, I added a VEQ4, and what I did was right here on this high filter knob, I set the bottom knob to 15. So there's 2 knobs on this. The bottom I set to 15, and then the top one I set at 2.4 dB, just to boost that high end a little bit because it was lacking in the mix. So I'm gonna play a song without these 2 now.
You're now listening to Young Beat.
5.56 and them 7.62s. You shoot at me, I'll shoot at you.
Alright, so now I'm gonna play the beat with these effects.
You're now listening to Young Beat.
5.56 and them 7.62s. You shoot at me, I'll shoot at you.
Alright, so as you can tell and hear, it adds a lot more brightness and more, I'd say, a little happier feeling to it, and then that low end kicks a little harder. So after that, I simply just duplicated the beat and I made it unique and I placed it under. So now I routed that to channel 6. Now this is where it gets interesting. I made this in mono because I want a mono input. So then I added an SSL comp just to squash this beat. And it might sound really weird at first. It's going to sound drowned out and weird. So what I want you to do is I want you to set this threshold to where it's really stuck at 20. So if I play this, you're going to see that this is just stuck at 20. So you can see that it's really hitting that 20. So I'm gonna mute the first beat, and this is the copied one now that we're just listening. We're just listening to the copied beat.
You're now listening to Young Beat.
So if you can hear that, it's very squashed and quiet. Then just copy my attack release ratio and rate settings, and then make sure your analog and in button is pressed. Then after that, I just took this down to 0 and I blended it in with the beat. So I'm going to show you before and after and see if you can tell any difference.
You're now listening to Young Beat.
Alright, so now I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to play the same beat.
You're now listening to Young Beat.
Perfect. So now I'm going to go back to this IM pusher on the master bus and I'm going to turn the push up all the way to where there's clipping and distortion. Then I'm going to turn it down 2 to 4 dB. So we still get that very loud mix, but without all this clipping and weirdness.
You're now listening to Young
That sounded good to me. So now I'm just going to go up to this high button, and we already added the highs with the VEQ4. So I'm just going to add maybe 2 dB. That might be a little too much. So I'm going to do 1.8 just to be careful. So it's just going to push the beat up, make the high end a little crispier, but it's not overdoing it. So you really don't want to overdo it on this high button. All right, so now I'm going to start with the stereo image button. This is going to make everything more wide and make it better for the headphone listeners pretty much. So what you want to do is you don't want to do too much because it'll cause anti-phasing. So you want to go back to our analyzer, and right here, these are anti-phase. So what I want to do is I want to put this next to each other, and I'm going to increase this until it sounds good to my ears and it's not causing a lot of anti-phasing.
You're now listening to Young
And I'm 762s. You shoot at me, I'll shoot at you. I'm shooting flames, this shit voodoo.
Alright, so I think that sounds good to me. There's not much anti-phasing going on, and it still sounds wide and brought to life. So now there's this button called magic. It's self-explanatory. It just adds magic. This one you can add as much as you want, as little as you want. You just gotta listen with your ears. And if something sounds bad, then just tone this back.
You're now listening to Young
762s. You shoot at me, I'll shoot at you. I'm shooting flames, this shit voodoo.
Alrighty, so that's where I like it at right there. Alright, so next I'm going to work on this body, okay? So again, I'm going to play the beat and bring it up until I like it.
You're now listening to Young
556 and I'm 762s. You shoot at me, I'll shoot at you. I'm shooting flames, this shit voodoo. We hit it brains, he had.
Alright, so that's where I like it. And you don't really want to add too much body. It can make everything sound muddy and like confined. Alright, so now for the low end. I want you to set it to where I have it right here, which is at 2.0. And if you want more low end, go ahead and push that up until you have the right amount of low end that you like. So now this right here is a fundamental frequency, alright? So when you click this little arrow right here, it gives you all of these hertz and all the notes. So we want to go back to our analyzer for this, and we want to find the fundamental frequency. So on this track, it's at 62. So when I play the beat, you're going to see a very like triangle thing right here. See how it's starting to do that? Like triangle. And it's going to stay at that spot, and that's the frequency you want.
You're now listening to Young
556 and I'm 762s. You shoot at me, I'll shoot at you.
Alright, so as I was listening to that, I noticed that at 62 right here, that was our fundamental frequency. It didn't change from 62. It stayed pretty much the same, and it was very prominent. So that's how I found the fundamental frequency. So you go down, and I found 62 right here, and it's at B. And if yours is in between one, just go to the nearest one it's at. And then I'll bring that up a little bit, and that's just pushing that fundamental frequency, making everything a lot nicer and more clear. Alright, so that's going to be it for today. If you guys want this preset, just DM me on Instagram. My link to Instagram is down below in the description. Just hit me up, tell me which preset you want. They're only $5, and it'll make your mixes a lot better. Make sure to subscribe and like. Thank you guys.
You're now listening to Young
556 and I'm 762s. You shoot at me, I'll shoot at you. I'm shooting flames, this shit voodoo. We hit it brains, he had no clue. Yeah, we in the streets, you know we fuck it up. Got your bitch on her knees, you know I'm in a gust. You ain't fucking with the team, and you can take the bus. Cut through the game or through the scenes, you can't fuck with us. I'll take your girl, I'll take your bag, I'm just a teenager.